Hello students, I am Sachitrakar. Welcome to Cars Physics. This is my lecture 14 on electrostatics and we are continuing electric charge and electric field. We have completed our discussion on Gauss law. Again, we have already understood that Gauss law has high importance to find electric field or electric field intensity. Of course, we can find electric field intensity by applying Coulomb's law. As per the concept, electric field intensity is force experienced by an unit positive charge. On the basis of Coulomb's law, we can calculate electrostatic force, then force per unit positive charge is electric field intensity. Okay, but Gauss law has high importance to find electric field more easily than that of applying Coulomb's law. Let's first discuss the common case which we have already found the expression for electric field intensity due to a point charge by applying the concept of Coulomb's law. Let's again see the discussion by applying Gauss law and I hope you will find it easier. Okay. Then this is part 1 of application of Gauss law. Okay. By the way, I am Sachitrakar. I do welcome you to Cars Physics. Okay. This is part 1 on the application of Gauss law and let's first check the answer. What we have already got by using Coulomb's law, electric field due to a point charge. Due to a point charge. The same answer we will get but in some extent easier way. Let's consider this is the position of point charge as we have discussed. Point charge means the charge may be located at a point. Okay. Let's imagine this point charge is in space. Then to find electric field by applying Gauss law, you should have some steps. First thing, we have to get Gaussian surface as we have discussed. Any imaginary surface enclosing a charge is called as Gaussian surface. So to find the electric field by applying Gauss law, first we have to take the Gaussian surface which must enclose some charge. As we have discussed, if any imaginary surface doesn't enclose any charge, then flux associated with the surface is 0. Okay, thus we have to first take or first imagine a Gaussian surface which must enclose a charge. Then we have to apply the formula for electric flux. d phi is equal to surface integral of E dot dA. Okay, then we have to use Gauss law. Total flux associated due to a charge Q is 1 by epsilon naught times of the charge enclosed. So first we have to take Gaussian surface which must enclose a charge. Then we have to use the general formula for flux. d phi is equal to dot product of electric field and elemental area vector. Then this is in accordance with Gauss law. Flux associated with a charge Q is 1 by epsilon naught times of the charge enclosed. Okay, so this is the point charge Q. Let's imagine Gaussian surface all around it. Means let's imagine a spherical Gaussian surface. Okay, so this is the charge inside the Gaussian surface. Thus this imaginary surface encloses a charge Q. Let's take any distance r. Means at a distance r from the point charge we have to find the electric field and we have already imagined Gaussian surface means a spherical surface around a point charge, which imaginary spherical surface is Gaussian surface and which encloses a charge Q. Okay, then let's imagine here an elemental surface dA, and as we have discussed, for a closed surface, direction of elemental area is always outward. Means in this case, for a point charge, direction of electric field is radially outward direction, as we know. So from this point, electric field is in radially outward direction. Since this charge is positive, electric field is in radially outward direction. Again, this is the elemental area dA. As we know, direction of elemental area vector for a closed surface is also in radially outward direction. So this is direction of elemental area dA. Okay, of course you can take a number of imaginary surface on the surface. This is dA. This is direction of elemental area vector, and this is also direction of electric field, and accordingly at the same distance r, you may assume this is an elemental area, direction is radially outward direction, means along the direction of electric field, and this is the elemental surface. This is also direction of elemental area vector, and this is also direction of electric field, and so on. You may assume a number of Gaussian surfaces, number of elemental area on the Gaussian surface. Okay, symmetrically we are representing electric field. Okay, this is the representation of Gaussian surface around a point charge, this imaginary spherical surface, and we have taken a number of elemental surface area dA each on the surface of the spherical imaginary Gaussian surface. Okay, taking any one of these area vector, then as per formula d phi from this elemental area vector is surface integral of A dot dA, and as we know here both electric field and elemental area vector are in same direction, thus angle between them is 0 degree. Okay, thus d phi is equal to surface integral of E dA cos 0 degree, and integrating both sides, integration of d phi is phi, and electric intensity bring it outside, and surface integral of dA. For whole surface, flux is equal to E into A, or this is equals to electric field into whole surface area vector. Integration of dA is A is whole surface area of the imaginary spherical surface. Then whole surface area is 4 pi r square. Equation 1, first step is completed. As we have discussed, we have to first take an imaginary Gaussian surface which must enclose a charge. Then this is general formula for electric flux through elemental area dA. We have got what is flux. Then second step, according to Gauss, flux is equal to charge inside the Gaussian surface. We may take charge inside the Gaussian surface 1 by epsilon naught times of the charge inside. This is equation 2. Now equating equation 1 and equation 2, E into 4 pi r square is equal to charge inside of Gaussian surface divided by epsilon naught, and electric field is 1 divided by 4 pi epsilon naught q inside divided by r square. I think you have already done this. Okay, I don't think, I know you have already. We have discussed this on the basis of Coulomb's law. Electric field is 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught, outside is air or vacuum, q inside the Gaussian surface divided by square of distance, or you may write k q divided by r square. The same result as we have got it by using Coulomb's law. Okay, this is usual case. Then now we will find, I will erase it. I have already advised you, whatever you study, immediately practice, and for quick review you may take screenshot before discussing, before practicing. Okay, then the similar discussion, this is electric field due to a point charge kq divided by r square. Okay, then next discussion, electric field on the basis of application of Gauss law, electric field due to an uniformly charged means charge is distributed uniformly. Uniformly charged solid sphere. Uniformly charged solid sphere. Of course, I have taken, you may take charged conducting solid sphere. The solid sphere is made up of conducting material. You may take metals, okay, conducting material. Uniformly charged conducting solid sphere, or the similar case, the result will be same. Uniformly charged thin spherical cell, or you may take a hollow sphere. Thin spherical cell means the thickness of wall of the cell, means a hollow sphere is very thin. Okay, thin spherical cell may be conducting or insulating. Or uniformly charged thin spherical cell which may be made up of conducting material or insulating material or dielectric material. Okay. Uniformly charged conducting solid sphere or uniformly charged thin spherical cell may be conducting or may be insulating. Result for all is same. Let's first discuss about the conducting sphere, solid sphere. So this is a solid sphere, conducting sphere. We may assume this is a metallic sphere of radius r. Okay, this is charged, means charge is given to the solid metallic sphere. This is solid metallic sphere. And we have already discussed, a conductor has high number density of free electrons or high number density of mobile electrons. Okay, those free electrons or those mobile electrons are always, or free charges are always in random motion inside a conductor. So if charge is given to a conductor, as we have discussed, if charge is given to a conductor, no charge remains inside the body, but whole charge is distributed on the surface of the conducting body. So this is a solid conducting sphere made up of conducting material, or you may say metals. If charge is given to this conducting sphere or metallic sphere, as we know, no charge will remain inside the body. Whole charge is distributed on the surface. Okay, whole charge is distributed on the surface. And we have assumed uniformly charged, means we may assume the distribution of charge on the surface of conducting sphere is uniform. Means there is uniform distribution of charge on the surface of the conductor. Since charge is distributed on the surface of conductor, there is uniform distribution of charge. We may take uniform surface charge density. Charge is distributed on the surface area. So, uniform surface charge density, let's take the symbol sigma, and this is equals to charge distributed per unit surface area. So, uniform surface charge density is total charge, let Q is given, total charge. Okay, Q is given total charge divided by surface area is 4 pi r square. So this is called as surface, this is uniform surface charge density. Okay, uniform surface charge density on this conducting sphere is sigma, that is equals to charge divided by total surface area. Thus, this is charge per unit surface area. Okay. So, this is uniform surface charge density. Okay. Charge is distributed on the surface. I am erasing all this. I think you have taken the headline. First case, we have taken the heading, we are taking uniformly charged solid conducting sphere or hollow conducting sphere, thin spherical shell of conducting material or insulating hollow spherical shell. See, for a conducting sphere, if this is solid, then no charge will remain inside the body. Whole charge will be distributed on the surface. Okay. If you take a thin spherical shell, the thickness is very small. So radius again is r. This thickness is very small thickness. Not too thick, very thin. Okay. This is thin spherical shell of radius r. See, this is hollow spherical shell, hollow sphere, means there is no material particle inside the sphere. As we know, charge is always associated with the masses, means without mass, charge can't reside. Inside the hollow sphere or inside the thin spherical shell, there is no particle, no mass, so there is no charge. We imagine this is evacuated. There is no material particle inside the sphere. So if there is no material particle inside the sphere, there is no charge, or charge inside the sphere is zero. Hollow sphere or conducting or non-conducting thin spherical shell, then obviously total charge will reside on the surface. So for this also, uniform surface charge density sigma is charge given Q divided by whole surface area 4 pi r square. Thus, electric field due to a conducting solid sphere and thin spherical shell may be conducting, may be insulating. If charge and radius are same, then electric field at every consideration, at each consideration for different positions will also be same. Okay. Then our first step. Number 1, for solid conducting sphere or thin spherical shell or hollow sphere may be conducting or may be insulating, answer or expression will be same. Number 1, first case, inside the sphere. See, this is the sphere, may be solid conducting sphere or may be thin spherical shell. See students, whole charge is distributed on the surface. So I have already discussed to use Gauss law. First thing is we have to assume a Gaussian surface which must enclose charge. The first case is inside the sphere. See, radius of the sphere is r. Let's imagine this is any radius r. From the center of the sphere, distance is r, and we have assumed a spherical region inside the given sphere of radius r. Here, r is less than r. Okay. So, inside the sphere, there is no charge. Here, charge is 0. Okay. So, where there is no charge, there is no flux. So, here, where there is no charge, there is no electric field. Thus, inside the charged sphere may be conducting solid sphere or insulating or conducting thin spherical shell. Electric field is 0. Since there is no charge, there is no field lines, there is no electric field. Okay. Then, number 2, outside the sphere. Okay. This is our given sphere of radius r. Charge is distributed on the surface. Okay. On the surface. So, I have done it very in quick form. You may assume here an elemental area dA. This is direction of dA. Okay. This is direction of electric field. Okay. As we know, surface integral of E dot dA, this is flux. Also flux is Q divided by epsilon naught, and from this you will get flux is equal to E into A, E dA cos 0. Integration of dA is A, and here flux is Q by epsilon naught, means EA is equal to Q divided by epsilon naught. Since charge is 0 inside the sphere, so electric field is 0. This is the proof, and you can easily estimate it that inside there is no charge, so there is no electric field line, so there is no electric field. I have written theoretically, and you can prove it. Inside the surface, we have imagined a spherical region. Let's consider this is an elemental area dA, direction of dA, direction of electric field, A dot dA, and this is equals to surface integral of E dA cos 0. So, flux is equal to E, cos 0 is 1, integration of dA is A, flux is EA, again flux is Q divided by epsilon naught, then EA is equal to Q divided by epsilon naught inside the body. Charge is 0, so EA is 0, means electric field is 0. Okay. Now, outside the sphere. Okay. So, this is the given sphere on which charge is distributed. Our first step is to imagine a Gaussian surface outside the sphere. This is the imaginary Gaussian surface, and this is distance r. Okay. So, I am drawing here. This is the given sphere of radius r. Charge is distributed on the surface. Outside the sphere, let's imagine a Gaussian surface of radius r. Okay. And next step, just imagine this is an elemental area dA. This is direction of elemental area vector dA, and this is direction of electric field in radial outward direction. And accordingly, you may imagine here also an elemental area dA, and this is direction of electric field in radially outward direction. Okay. The same concept dA and electric field. This is dA. This is also electric field. You may take several points on the surface of imaginary Gaussian surface dA, 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 dA and electric field, direction of area, direction of electric field, and accordingly this is dA, this is electric field. So you may take in all direction, means the whole imaginary Gaussian surface may contain number of elemental areas. Okay. Now, as per the concept, flux d phi is equal to surface integral of A dot dA. Okay. So, integration of d phi is phi, and here again the same result, surface integral of A dA cos 0 degree. See, direction of elemental area and direction of electric field are in same direction. So, flux is E, surface integral of dA cos 0 is 1, and this is E into A, and flux is electric field. Area of this Gaussian surface of radius small r, here small r is greater than capital R. In this case, small r was less than capital R, means capital R is radius of the charged sphere. Okay. Then this is E into A. Since radius of the Gaussian surface, spherical Gaussian surface is smaller, then area is 4 pi r square. Also, flux is given as Q inside the Gaussian surface, 1 by epsilon naught times of the charge inside. Then this is flux is Q inside divided by epsilon naught. This is equation 1, this is equation 2. Okay. Now equating equations 1 and 2. Okay. Can I erase all these things? Okay. Then equating equation 1 and 2, this is flux, E into 4 pi r square is equal to Q inside the Gaussian surface divided by epsilon naught, then electric field is 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught into Q inside divided by r square. See, this is the similar result as that of electric field due to a point charge at a distance r. But here, the charge is distributed on the surface. This is not the case of point charge, but we got the result as that of the similar case in point charge. Then how can we imagine it? See, charge is distributed on the surface of this sphere, conducting sphere or thin spherical shell, whatever may be, of radius r. Charge is distributed on the surface. If you look it from outside, from a distance, if you look the sphere from outside from a distance, then whole charge distributed on the surface will appear to be concentrated at a point, means it will appear as a point charge. But practically, in this case, the charge is distributed on the surface of sphere. But if you look it from outside, from a distance, the whole distributed charge on the surface will appear to be concentrated at the center of the sphere. Means this is the this will appear as a point charge. So we got electric field, the result of electric field as that of in case of point charge. Then we will go to actual formula for this case. Okay. Then total charge inside the Gaussian surface. See, this is the actual sphere which contains the charge. Okay. This is the sphere which contains charge, and radius of this sphere is r. Whole charge is distributed on the surface, but we have taken Gaussian surface outside the sphere. Radius of Gaussian surface is smaller, and small r is greater than capital R. So this expression, electric field, 1 divided by 4 pi epsilon naught Q inside surface charge density sigma is equal to charge, means this charge is inside. The whole charge on the surface is inside this Gaussian surface. So this is charge inside the Gaussian surface. Then in place of charge inside, we may put sigma into 4 pi r square. Total charge is sigma into 4 pi r square, where sigma is surface charge density, uniform surface charge density divided by r square. Q inside divided by r square, 4 pi get cancelled, then electric field is sigma r square divided by epsilon naught r square. Again it comes, this case and this case, from both the expression we are getting electric field inversely proportional to square of distance. Okay, electric field inversely proportional to square of distance. Now the required graph, then variation of electric field with increase in distance. Okay. Inside the sphere, there is no electric field, what we have discussed. This is the sphere, charged sphere, uniformly charged sphere, maybe conducting sphere or maybe insulating sphere, not insulating sphere. Thin spherical shell, may be insulating or may be conducting. Charge is distributed on the surface, and this is radius. Okay, r is any distance. Okay, this is center of the sphere. Let's represent the electric field, variation of electric field with a distance. See, this is center. At center, r is arbitrary small r. At center, value of r is 0. Of course, inside the sphere, electric field is 0. So this is surface, this is surface. At surface, value of r is equal to radius of the sphere. But inside the surface, electric field is 0. Inside the surface, electric field is 0. Outside the surface, electric field is 1 divided by 4 pi epsilon naught q inside divided by r square, or you may accept this formula, electric field sigma, uniform surface charge density into square of radius of the sphere divided by epsilon naught into r square, electric field inversely proportional to square of distance. But on the surface of sphere, on this surface, see, this formula is valid for outside. On the surface, I am writing here, on the surface. On the surface, r is equal to capital R. Small r is variable. If small r is 0, then we will go to center of the charged sphere or charged spherical shell. If r is equal to r, then this shows on the surface, put here. On the surface, electric field sigma into r square divided by epsilon naught into r square. In place of small r, we may put capital R. So electric field is okay. Thus on the surface, magnitude of electric field is sigma divided by epsilon naught. This is the value on the surface. Thereafter, if we increase the value of r, small r, then electric field will go on decreasing. And this is the variation of electric field with increase in distance, electric field inversely proportional to square of distance. This graph will be some extent steeper. Okay. Means if distance is doubled, electric field will become 1/4. Electric field will decrease rapidly with increase in distance, as that of in case of a point charge, or due to uniformly charged solid sphere, or due to uniformly charged thin spherical shell, may be conducting or may be insulating. Okay. So this is about conducting sphere or thin spherical shell, may be conducting, may be insulating. So in all cases, there will be no charge inside the body. For a conductor, no charge will be inside the body. solid conductor. For thin spherical cell, inside there is no particles, there will be no charge. So for all cases, charge will be distributed on the surface of sphere. Okay. Then next case. Very interesting. And again, we'll do or we'll approach the same spherical conductor. But student, what we are discussing, these are for your regular studies, and finally I will go to discussion for your competitive exams like NEET, JEE, etc. But all these discussions which are regular are also your basic thoughts or fundamental thoughts to approach competitive level questions and numericals. So don't forget the fundamentals. Okay, we'll approach all the range what I have already decided. Be with me, and what I have promised, I will try to cover maximum. Okay. Next case, third case in today's class, case 3. In this case, we are going to find electric field due to uniform volume distribution of charge sphere. A sphere is charged, so obviously this is the case of solid sphere. Solid sphere. But here, electric field due to uniform volume distribution of charge solid sphere. Means, if this is a solid sphere, charge is distributed uniformly throughout its volume. So obviously, this solid sphere, charged solid, non-conducting or dielectric sphere. Non-conducting or dielectric sphere. If charge is given to a solid conductor, as we have discussed, no charge will remain inside the solid conducting sphere, because the charges will move in all random direction due to mutual repulsion, and finally they will appear on the surface. Okay. So, since we have taken uniform volume distribution of charge, so that sphere must be a non-conducting sphere. For a non-conducting sphere or for a non-conducting body, charge may reside inside the body. But for a conducting body, no charge will remain inside the body. Whole charge will appear on the surface of the conductor. So since this is an insulating or non-conducting sphere, there may be charge inside it. And we have assumed there is uniform volume distribution of charge. Okay. Here charge is distributed uniformly. So throughout volume, charge is distributed in uniform manner. Let volume charge density, uniform volume charge density. We have taken sigma, uniform area charge density, charge per unit surface area. Let's take here rho. Uniform volume charge density is rho, that is charge per unit volume. So, uniform volume charge density is rho. Let's consider radius of this sphere is r. Okay. Then charge. Let charge is q, volume is 4 by 3 pi r cube. Okay. Then volume charge density I am writing here Q, total charge given to the Q, which is distributed uniformly, divided by 4 by 3 pi r cube. This is uniform volume charge density. Okay. So now we will analyze different cases. Okay. Number one, first case. Inside the sphere, this is a non-conducting sphere. It must be kept in your mind. This is a non-conducting charged solid sphere. Okay, with uniform volume distribution of charge. Okay, inside the sphere, the first step, as we have discussed, to apply Gauss law, we have to first take or first assume an imaginary Gaussian surface which must enclose a charge. An imaginary surface enclosing a charge is called as Gaussian surface. Let's imagine this is the actual sphere with uniform volume charge density. Radius of the sphere is r. Charge is distributed throughout its volume, uniformly distributed. Okay. This is center. Just imagine a sphere inside it of radius r, and here inside the sphere small r is less than capital R. Okay. So this is now the imaginary Gaussian surface inside the sphere. Okay. Then next step, now let's take an imaginary elemental area dA on the surface of this Gaussian surface. I am bringing outside it the imaginary Gaussian surface. It has radius smaller. Since charge is distributed throughout the volume, this imaginary Gaussian surface of radius r also contains charge throughout its volume. Then charge inside it, Q inside. See, volume charge density is Q divided by 4 by 3 pi r cube. But here, since charge density, volume charge density is uniform for this sphere of radius r, means we have imagined a sphere inside the given sphere. Here, charge inside divided by volume 4 by 3 pi r cube. Okay. So, charge inside is uniform charge density, volume charge density into 4 pi r cube. Now, let's imagine this is radius and elemental area dA, direction of dA, and electric field due to positive charge is radially outward. If the charge were negative, then electric field would be radially inwards. And accordingly, we may imagine a number of Gaussian surface, number of elemental surface on the surface of sphere. Okay. dA, electric field. Similarly, dA, elemental area vector direction is outward, radially outward, electric field is radially outward, and so on. In all direction, you may imagine. So, charge inside this imaginary sphere is uniform volume charge density into volume, this is 4 by 3 pi r cube. Okay. Now, applying our concept d phi is equal to A dot dA for total flux. Let's integrate both sides, and this is surface integral, and this is phi E. Then surface integral of dA is A. Then flux is equal to electric field into area. Area of this surface is 4 pi r square, equation 1. Okay. Then according to Gauss law, flux is also given as Q inside of this imaginary sphere of radius r divided by epsilon naught. Then flux is Q inside uniform volume charge density 4 by 3 pi r cube whole divided by epsilon naught, and here flux will be 4 by 3 pi r cube rho divided by epsilon naught, equation 2. Now, this is flux due to this imaginary sphere of uniform volume charge density, and this is also flux due to this. Then equating equations 1 and 2, we got electric field into 4 pi r square is equal to 4 by 3 pi r cube into rho means uniform volume charge density divided by epsilon naught. 4 pi get cancelled, r square cancels cube, then electric field is equal to rho uniform volume charge density r divided by 3 epsilon naught, and it is seen that electric field directly proportional to distance from the center of the sphere. Okay, of course you can change this formula. How? This is first form. Then electric field is rho. Rho is uniform charge density. Of course we can put this value also in place of rho. In place of rho we can write Q divided by 4 by 3 pi r cube into r divided by 3 epsilon naught, then electric field Q r divided by electric field, okay, divided by 4 by 3 pi r cube into 3 epsilon naught. See, 3 get cancelled. Okay, then finally we get electric field is equal to 1 divided by 4 pi epsilon naught into r cube into r. Also this again shows electric field directly proportional to distance, means smaller. Okay, then this is inside the body of radius r, inside the sphere. Inside the sphere means here small r is less than capital R, and this formula is enough for you. Okay, no need to use this. This is your formula inside. The next point, this is inside the sphere. Then we will take number 2, outside the sphere. Outside means small r is greater than capital R. This is inside. We have taken Gaussian surface, imaginary Gaussian surface of spherical surface of radius r. And outside, see, this is the charged sphere, non-conducting charge sphere with uniform volume charge density. Okay, this has radius r. Okay, so outside the sphere, let's imagine another spherical Gaussian surface of radius small r, and here small r is greater than capital R. Again, imagine here an elemental area. Direction of elemental area is radially outward. Also electric field is in radially outward direction due to positive charge. Electric field would be in radially inward direction if the charge were negative. Similarly, you may take number of elemental areas, dA electric field, dA electric field, similarly dA electric field, and so on. You may take number of elemental areas, but you should take symmetrically. Okay. since electric field lines are symmetric. Okay. Okay, outside the surface. Okay, then the same form here, considering this point area or this elemental area, d phi is equal to A dot d, the same process, surface integral phi E dA cos 0 degree, surface integral, then phi is equal to E into A, and this is phi is equal to electric field into area of this Gaussian surface, radius is r, then electric field into 4 pi r square. Okay, this is flux. Okay, again, according to Gauss law, flux is q inside divided by epsilon naught. Inside means now this is the whole sphere which is charged. Okay, then q inside it, this is charge inside, then radius is capital R for whole surface, then flux is equal to q inside is volume charge density, uniform volume charge density, into 4 by 3 pi r cube divided by epsilon naught. Then flux is equal to 4 by 3 pi rho r cube divided by epsilon naught, equation 2. This is equation 1, formula for flux. This is also formula for flux. Now equating equations 1 and 2. By equating equations 1 and 2, E into 4 pi r square is equal to 4 by 3 pi rho r cube divided by epsilon naught. 4 pi get cancelled. Then electric field rho r cube divided by 3 epsilon naught into r square. Okay. Then this expression means outside the sphere, the expression shows that electric field varies inversely as the square of distance. Okay. This formula may be turned to another form. Can I erase all this? Okay. They are all in similar form. First find flux E dot d, then take surface integral, then equate it with flux is equal to q divided by epsilon naught. All are in similar form. See students, this is first formula, outside the sphere, this is outside the sphere, this is inside the sphere, this is inside the sphere. Then again, electric field is volume charge density into r cube, volume charge density is q divided by 4 by 3 pi r cube into r cube. Okay, divided by 3 epsilon naught r square. R cube get cancelled. Then electric field is 3 get cancelled. Okay, 3 get cancelled. Then this is equals to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q by r square. Again it appears as that of the electric field due to a point charge. The same concept. If you look from outside, then whole distributed charge throughout the volume will appear to be concentrated at a point. If you observe from outside, then this is the case as that of electric field due to point charge. So in all cases, electric field outside is inversely proportional to square of distance. But in this case, electric field inside is directly proportional to the distance. Okay. Now the required graph. See, This is our uniformly charged, uniformly volume distributed charge sphere. Charge is distributed throughout the volume uniformly, okay, and radius of the sphere is r. This is center of the sphere. The required graph, this is r. This is center of the sphere, means here r is equal to 0. See, inside the sphere, this is formula for electric field. This is formula for electric field inside the sphere, which is which contains uniform volume distribution of charge. E is equal to inside. Inside, electric field is volume charge density R divided by 3 epsilon naught. At center, see, R is any distance, at center R is 0, so electric field is 0. So at center electric field is 0. Thereafter, as distance from center increases, electric field increases, since electric field directly proportional to R, and here from center electric field varies directly as the distance from center R. And this is the surface of the sphere. This is surface. This is surface of the sphere. And here R is equal to R, means radius of the sphere is capital R. R is arbitrary, small r is arbitrary. On the surface, R is equal to capital R. And when we move outside the sphere, on the surface, okay, on the surface, I am erasing, this is not in use. This is inside, on the surface. On the surface, electric field, sigma r cube divided by 3 epsilon naught into r square on the surface, r is equal to r. Okay, on the surface. So this is sigma r divided by 3 epsilon naught. This is the value. But as we move away from surface, electric field inversely proportional to square of distance. This is outside the surface, E inversely proportional to square of distance. This is not required. As we move outside, electric field varies inversely as the square of distance. So, for an insulating uniformly volume distributed sphere, there is electric field inside the sphere. Because charge is inside the sphere, so there must be electric field inside the sphere. Okay. So, this is about uniform distribution of charge. We have discussed two types of distribution. Uniform surface distribution of charge, charge density, charge per unit surface area, and in second case we have discussed uniform volume distribution of charge. Okay. This application of Gauss law will continue in coming some lectures, and I hope this class is helped you to understand the fundamental concept. Okay. In next class, we will review the previous studies as well as we will approach a new application. Thank you, students. Thank you for your sincere support. Thanks.